Okay. Apparently I erased the Horde instead of the horns. Way to go, me. Way to go, bro. Well, I mean, I just saw the H-O-R and I was like, that's the horns. No, wasn't. I want more Horde. More Horde. Are those trumpets cutting off? Shame on you. Let's do releases. Let's just see what this sounds like for starters. Just a bit of a break, maybe. Soaring Strings, also from Aaron. Just curious, don't judge me now. What if I copied that trumpet part? And then also added an upper octave. And then we made sure it was modulation wheels all the way up. Let's just go ahead and quantize that where the releases are also all the way there. Let's just see. Here's the joy of it. Yeah, I'm showing you this, and maybe it's going to sound dumb, but if you're making it in your studio, try it. Try whatever. Try and learn and experiment. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Try something else. Okay? I like to say, here's a key component of my teaching. Don't be afraid to suck on your own time. Don't suck in front of your client, in front of the music supervisor, music editor, the producer. Try to keep the sucking to yourself. Oh, I heard it. I heard it. Oh yeah, baby. I'm liking hearing that texture up top. You know what? You take it out, you miss it. I miss it. You should miss it. Well, we'll take some tweaking in the mix, but I think we're going to be able to hear that. It's a nice little something to add. It's so full that, you know, you're starting to lose stuff. So somewhere between the arrangement and the mixing, we have to decide, is the arrangement not working if you can't hear something, or is there something mix-wise you can adjust so that it stands out? Normally I would probably start out with the strings before I start adding brass and stuff. But in this case, I just went, those are going to be back to the 8th note triplets. We may have to bump those up so that they speak in time. What was that doing? So I bumped those earlier. I think it ended up doing like 15 ticks. In DP, a tick is it's the resolution, the tiniest resolution of a quarter note that they're using. I think this is 480 clicks. How does that translate to milliseconds? It just depends on the tempo. But it's a pretty small amount. If there's 120 beats per minute, there's 2 quarter notes per second, right? So that would mean 480 times 2. So it's almost milliseconds at this point. So let's say I bumped it roughly 15 milliseconds earlier so that the original bow, cello, it's the low strings, the original bowing, and by the time they get into the string, what you hear is the main meat of it speaks closer to the downbeat. And as I've said before, many string libraries, you have to scoot them up ahead. Because what constitutes the beginning of the sound isn't necessarily going to be right when the bow touches. There's going to be just a fraction, a few milliseconds. The faster it is, the more you may have to adjust between when the bow hits and there's the bow and beginning to vibrate the string, and when it starts to sound fully, even if it's just a few milliseconds. But if you chop that off when you're creating the sample library, like one of them, Audio Imperia, they have an option where you can adjust the start sample so that it speaks right on the downbeat, for convenience or whatever, but it sounds way more robotic because it's chopping off the true beginning of the sound. It's just that the meat of the sound that you hear more as what should be on the downbeat is for, let's say if the sample's like this, maybe what you hear as the meat of the sound doesn't really start till here, but if you chop off this beginning little part, it's going to sound robotic and unnatural. So that is the nature of it. We're humans, okay? But we can still hear the difference, okay? So string players clearly must adjust for that when they're playing live. When you're playing a sample, it's you that's deciding when it plays. So you have to either play ahead of the beat just a smidge, or quantize it if it's something that needs quantizing and scoot it up. Did I make sense? I think. Let's put back in, just for a sort of a mixing thing, let's put back in one at a time. I'm still adjusting the bones while I'm thinking I'm adjusting the trumpets. comp that earlier. That's pretty behind. We'll do another 10 clicks. Let's try supporting the bottom end with. A lot of times you might try adding a sub bass, in which this case you would roll off that gritty edge, but sometimes you need the support of just a low sub bass. Even though if you're listening back, you might go, "Oh, nice sub bass," but you feel the support of it. Is what we're talking about. You may want that grit. I don't know. So we will quantize the beginnings of those notes. Let's see, where do we land? So yeah, I mean, we could track it like that and then decide later if you want to roll off some of the edginess, be more like you roll off the high end. It should take care of that flattiness if you don't want it. That's pretty good overall vibe. Now I'm calling this, the inspiration for my weird dream was, space opera, Star Trek kind of Enterprise hurling at light speed through space. It could also be sort of heroic. Now, depending on how over the top you make it, this kind of thing could still work for, the shows that have the big action, like the big trailery stuff, maybe like a military thing, or there's like the shows where there's big danger, they're really hyping the danger. It could possibly show up on like that, like Ice Road Truckers or Deadliest Catch kind of thing, if you don't make it too over the top. But we're not afraid to, if we decide something, if we like something and it's going to make it over the top, fine. I was thinking about trying something to add a little definition and clarity to the drums. I like the looseness and sort of the sound of the room with Damage too, the way it's mixed. I mixed in the room sound. Maybe a little more dryness in your faceness from something different. Audio Imperia. we'll just experiment. Okay. Okay. It's a triplet. There you go. So the whole kit and caboodle, I'm just gonna move it down here somewhere to start with, just so we have a nice clean version of that, just in case there's a boo-boo, right? I don't know if we would use any of this at the very beginning. That's eighth note triplets, isn't it? The whole shebang. Oh no, what did I do? This doesn't crash. I gave it too much to do at once, and now it's mad at me. I'll be back. I thought we would start with some little low chuggity chugs in the low strings. So, if you've seen my trailer for my, of course, music library production, I would probably borrow some ideas from that. Sort of add a little, ooh, something's happening. Try that again. That may have been a little over the top. Let's just do triplets and see what it sounds like. Utter crap, right? It seems that basically worked out. So we know we're gonna have to shift that earlier at some point. Just add some simple drums. eighth note triplets. Okay, we're gonna set it to where we don't record over it. Overdub mode, add a little just constant clickety snare thing. All right, I'm gonna go with nice and light. Definitely eighth note triplets on that. We're gonna add a damaged one with some stick stuff to add to the clickiness, okay? Whoopsies! I did not quantize those, so there'll be just a little more humanity, right? Add a little of this tom from Cerberus to have a little more balance in between the low toms and the snare and the clickety sticks. I think that sounds pretty good. You know what I'm saying? Do you hear that? It's in. I was feeling a little loosey-goosey on that one. We're gonna quantize that. We're gonna quantize that one. But let's shift that one. Let us shift that one later a bit. Not that much. Brought down the velocity a little bit, so it'll be a little quieter. Now, how does that sound compared to what we have in the back end? Let's repeat that a couple of times. Just, I'm not saying we'll use that same pattern the whole time, but we'll start adding some stuff. Like, Maybe we'll try something like that in the intro. I mean, maybe. What we're doing, we want to start adding some little bits to forward the interest, add a little interest, add a little more activity, a little motion, a little ear candy, just something to break up. This first part I made, pulsing low strings in the drums, it establishes a feel. I think it's like, oh, something's coming, right? We're gonna add a little interest, and we're gonna figure out how to build it. How do we go between this and the big section? We're gonna figure that out. Cool. Has some other short strings, but these from cinematic studio strings are not as, you know, big and choppy and in your face. We want that right now. I took out the click sound, so we don't need to hear that. Oh dear, forgot to take it out of overdub mode. Let's quantize that. I could feel it's getting a little loosey-goosey toward this back part. Let's see. Hey, look, we know where I know I have to do that earlier. These especially. Let's just see what it sounds like. I don't know where I landed as far as quantizing yet. It's gonna be in the pocket, but let's just try to hear it like we're gonna hear it. I see you little nugget, you little accident. That's me. I was an accident. I may have been an accident in the world's eyes, but not in God's eyes. I figured out one day my brother was 5 months old when I was conceived. I don't think that was on purpose. I was born out of passion. Is it me or did that work? Even if there were some minor, slightly unplanned variations happening in our situation there. Okay. Where are we? what we might do at 18 at the new section. Add a little chord change, like a B section, leading up to the Big Mama section, where the Big Mama happens. Okay? Right? Sweet? Right? What is this? What? So how does it? What are we getting into again? Okay. You know, I'm slightly comforted knowing that we already have a big section we're coming to. It's like coming home. It's like coming home. I hope this whole green screen, I don't regret this whole green screen thing, because you can't. There's a green screen behind me now for this video, and I can't green screen it. It's either trying to do the chroma key thing or showing you a little green screen halo. I hope it doesn't suck too bad. Let us start. I'll try not to bore you to death with having to start like this. I was hearing a chord change there, but the low string part was confusing. Everyone in life is being confused by that right now. That was confusing. I thought I still heard a F going on. It's somewhere in the ring, in the tones of the drums. I thought something was still playing an F. Turns out my drums disappeared too soon. I didn't even know that I accidentally put that big section probably right where it's gonna go. Ooh, it's like how did I know? How did I know, everyone? It's freaking me out, man. Okay. That may need a couple of bars. So it's like I'm doing the chord changes in halftime. Kitchen sink, everything but the kitchen sink section. I don't know if we're going to need something to transition a little smoother into that or not. But hey. Okay. Whoops. Okay. We need to continue that. How was our timing?